That's right.
That's
Toph. Hugs. None. Fiction. Hungrybox.
Yeah.
Super Smash Brothers Melee.
Yes.
That's who we are.
Yes.
Oh, God.
Is he all right?
I am now,
right.
None.
Okay.
I am
I
now.
was
I'm
just
Bob
double
Scar.
checking.
Well, welcome to Smash Summit 9. I am late. You are not.
Well, you know.
You are not. You're here right where you're supposed to be.
I was almost late. I was hustling over. I actually spilled some coffee on my way. Anyway, game 1, Battlefield. We're talking about pace. Bob, we commentated Hacks versus Hungrybox at Genesis, and that was one thing we talked about a lot, actually. We talked about the pace,
Fiction stands
setting
still
the pace, yeah.
and doesn't jump.
It's, yeah.
You know what Hacks was? Hacks was a rook in chess. He could not move diagonally. He could only move up and down. But it looks like Fiction's got that queen power up.
Yeah.
And can move in all 8 directions.
It's powerful.
Something really important to note here is that Fiction is going to have to keep composure. I feel like sometimes he might lose it. I mean, I think it happens fairly often. And the problem here
Very
is
emotional player.
Hbox is very good at bringing that side out of you. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
And so it's going to be like a mental battle here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is
absolutely.
usually the case when facing someone like Hungrybox.
Yeah.
You got to leave some emotion out of it.
I mean, he
Don't
does
you
that
get
to
super excited
everybody.
when you have a lead on Hungrybox? I got to imagine.
What?
Does it feel good to have
it
a
feels-
lead
Oh,
on
you get
Hungrybox?
so hyped.
It's
It
scary.
feels way better, though, than
Right?
down.
Scary.
It
It's
feels
scary.
good, but it feels scary to
It
feel
doesn't
good.
feel truthful.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You got that
Yeah.
question, did I
Yeah.
earn this, and
Yeah.
will I keep it? Is it going to
Yeah.
be taken from me?
Right.
That's not cool.
Start thinking.
Can't play like
this
that.
Is it. And then
You talk about emotions, right? That is a negative human emotion.
And then you start double thinking yourself. You start
Uh-huh.
thinking all these things, and it's like another game in itself. You know.
yeah.
Do y'all remember Hungrybox talking yesterday about, what was it, with his play versus Yoshi? He was just saying, like, oh, I conditioned this way. If it was a best of 3, I would have conditioned differently. But it's a best of 5, so now I'm conditioning this, and then I'm
wanted to
thinking
scare
about
him
this, and I
from
want to
doing
up
these
smash to
things.
make him feel afraid.
The man has
That's
that
insane.
brain
My
power.
gosh.
He does have that brain.
That's insane. So you're telling me Hbox is talking about his strats. He's playing friendlies with Fiction. Wow. This 2020 might be the year of open source Hbox.
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
No, seriously, he was saying that he wanted to help teach, and I think that's that
that's
would be
really
a
cool.
turning
Help
point.
teach.
That would be a turning point. That's
That's
what he said
a
yesterday
massive
on the
turning
microphone.
point.
I don't know if I believe him yet. I'm going to tell you.
Huh.
Well,
Just because it's been so many years where I feel he's come to tournaments and not really played friendlies, but
At all.
I mean, yeah, right. If that changes, that's a big change.
that's a big change, yeah. And it will level up the community for
It'll
sure.
make people happy. Yeah.
Well,
It'll
It
make
might-
people happy.
Hey, it might even make him happy.
give him
Might
back.
even make Hungrybox happy.
Can we think about that for a second? Can we let that process?
Just take a minute.
Giving back to the
about that.
community,
Yeah.
giving them Jigglypuff experience. It's going to put Prince Abu out of business.
yeah.
What's he going to do now?
Yeah, Prince of Boo goes out of business real fast.
Yeah.
Hungrybox
Obsolete.
stock goes up, and
Why?
Boo becomes obsolete.
That's Netflix to Blockbuster, man. He's out.
Yeah.
Well, you know, Buddha said the spiritual journey starts after you've won the material game, right?
Ah.
Hungrybox has reached the top of the mountain. You
He's on
can't
some
deny.
Zen
So
shit,
now he
yeah.
might be on some other path where it's like, oh, I've been to the top. I'm the best player in the world. People have said that to my face. Nobody asks that question anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I still don't feel satisfied. Maybe there's something
So what's
else.
You know,
next? Yeah.
I think I messed up. The other day I told him that he's probably the greatest of all time. And I
That
think
might be
that's
good.
where it clicked. He's like, you know what? I'm going to play friendlies now.
Dude, you think
The
how
whole thing
how
changed.
did you mess up? You didn't mess up. You restored order, dude.
That's
You
true,
saved the
yeah.
You may have
I
restored order
saved-
to the.
I saved
You may
Melee.
have saved all
Yeah.
people.
I don't believe that. If you want me to be honest, I think it was just a Valentine's Day thing. It's probably changed.
Oh, you
him.
know
The
what?
love
He's feeling
meter.
a little
Oh,
bit
you know,
low.
none.
The
You're
heart
not a
pillows.
believer. That's your style. You're not a believer. You need a lot to be convinced. People need to. An idea really needs to hold you tight before you
I
believe
need to be
in it.
convinced.
You know what I mean?
That's
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
This
You're
is
right.
just a whiff of something. But now Fiction at 101%.
Yeah,
Last stock.
I'll say
that
one
lead was
thing, man.
took.
Yep, that none saying about that lead is scary. You feel like it could go away any second, and it did.
Dude,
Yeah.
Wow,
It's
Hungrybox
almost
so good at doing that.
practically a 4-stock swing.
There's also some unspoken things in Melee. Sometimes in a match, this is actually pretty crazy.
Okay.
Sometimes there are moments in a match where you don't want to be in the lead. If that makes sense. I mean, you should be, obviously. It's
Why?
good.
Go ahead. No,
But
keep going, keep going.
strategically,
I'm almost with you.
strategically,
I'm almost with you, but
Just
you
go a
need
little
to.
more.
Yeah, go further.
Connect one more dot.
Strategically.
Yeah, because at least the way I see it, I think it's smarter to be in the lead like the second last stock, game 5, than being
Yeah.
up a stock at the beginning of the match and being the chances that you can get comebacked on. You know what I mean?
In other
At
words,
least
it's
in a
better to be
strategic
ahead
way.
towards the
It's
end.
not better. It's just it's something to think about. It
Something
could
to think
be.
about.
You know what I mean?
But if you were in the lead early, is there anything wrong with that?
No, of course it's good, but
But you think being
we started to talk about this, the Hbox thing, where
Yeah.
you started to double think yourself, like, and then you started to play different. You know, it
Okay.
could affect.
He's got you right where he wants you.
Yeah.
yeah, that's true.
I know where Nun's coming
So
from.
if the mindset switches,
yeah,
you'd rather have it at the end of a match where the mind switch wouldn't really matter
good smash
because
that
you
air
just
on
ended.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
at the end of the day, that comes to clutch and other things. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? But it's something to consider for sure.
yeah.
I feel like we talked about this a couple times. The theme for me when you talk is about sometimes the bad thing is there and you can't get rid of it. So why don't you make it useful and kind of
Useful.
smuggle it in?
You convert
You're
it,
gonna
right?
smuggle it in. So you're saying like, okay, maybe this. Ideally, you wouldn't have this mindset problem. Ideally, but maybe you can't get rid of it. So if you're gonna have it, you may as well have it
For sure. Yeah.
earlier on,
You just use
and
it
then
as a
you
weapon.
get past it.
You use it as a weapon.
Yeah.
I get a lot of.
I don't think other people really think about that a lot. I think that's something that you think about sort of uniquely. Like makes your playstyle your playstyle. It's clearly good.
It's like people say sometimes, "Oh, dude, you don't have emotions. What is wrong with you? Are you okay?" And I'm like, "No, I do. I just."
You're just smuggling them in.
Yeah, but then, like, do you get mad? You get sad? No, you know, sometimes you do get mad. Sometimes you get sad. You have a little bit of everything. But what matters is how good you're able to convert that into gameplay. How you're willing to transform it.
Yeah,
That's beautiful.
And that's what it's all
that was
about.
really
right?
eloquent.
That
20,
was really
2020,
nice.
dude, it's the year where none
Damn.
becomes intelligible. Bobby Scar None squash the beef. Hugo's telling
Damn.
Hungrybox he's the best in the world.
Hbox is open source.
Of all time, he's
right?
open source.
2020,
Yeah.
this is truly a new chapter for the
It's a new
community.
chapter. It's
and
the
for the
reset
game.
era.
For more information,
Oh!
of course, you
Did
can
you catch
join
that jump?
twitch.tv/none for more of this. Brain
Let's,
knowledge.
some things never change.
Yeah.
But some things never
Let's not get greedy. Let's not get greedy.
What about
But yeah,
there?
you see this?
Oh!
This is a good lead. It's a good moment
It's
to have a lead.
good
you
time
know?
Yeah,
for
it's a
lead.
good
Yeah.
moment.
Because
good time
now
to lead.
Puff can't really rest. I mean, she
Yep.
still can, but
I want to ask you something, Nunn.
yeah.
Okay, so in this situation, everyone knows that Hungrybox is the clutch guy.
Never mind.
Yeah.
I was wrong. I take it back.
Everyone knows he's the clutch guy.
Clutch
Okay.
guy.
What do you think makes
Whoa.
for a clutch player? What factors into it? I have my thoughts, but I want to hear yours.
That you're willing to make the right
Thank you for not
call
rolling.
at the right time.
Oh.
Okay.
Well, that was the right call.
Oh, look at
Oh,
Fiction.
Fiction went
Yeah,
off.
that's the composure thing I was talking about.
Feels like
right?
you blew it.
I
What do you?
think-
I've got my vote. Can I tell you before you?
Yeah,
Or
go
do you
for it,
think
go
that
for
you
it.
have the best answer?
No, I don't. I literally just thought of
My
an
my
answer.
feeling about clutch is like, okay, so you're in a high pressure situation, and you can sit in it. You don't feel the desire to get out.
I was going to say exactly what Bobby said.
I feel like I'm not
as
clutch
the person
because
behind.
You feel like
either
you
way,
need to,
even when you're in the lead. So one of the things that's hardest for me is when I'm in the lead versus a really good player. So, you know, it could be like a Pro Samus player in around 2007 or so, and I totally upset him, restocked him game 1, was about to win game 2. You know,
Right.
and then
And then
the thought hits me. The thought
That
hits me.
2007 Samus
The
player.
that
found a way.
That player was more clutch than me in that day.
Right.
But I felt like, you know, this is a big moment, eat one way or the other, and I wanted to get out. It was too much, you know? It was too much to sit with the question and the discomfort. So then I would start to do things that are just like designed to end the game in my favor, which is always bad. You know, you're kind of going for things that aren't really there.
Right.
You stop playing the game and you start trying to like end the game.
Right.
And that is not clutch.
clutch.
Clutch is the ability to continue to play even when the stakes are that high.
Yes.
Right? You think about, okay, the stake of what is it? The fate of humanity, right? Let's say we're playing versus the aliens, and you can still play the game. You don't start to try to cheese.
Yeah. Well, I think that's true, but I think it's amplified in a clutch situation because you should be doing that all the time, right?
You should.
But the difference in a clutch situation, in my opinion, is that everybody's like humanity comes to like they get amplified. So the things that people want, they want more.
Yeah.
The things that people don't want, they don't.
The
Things
stakes are higher.
Things become more
they're
apparent.
more afraid of it.
Yes.
So-
the stakes
Amplified.
get higher.
Yeah.
Right?
So
Like right now, like of course.
So
would
it's-
you approach here?
Right.
Things are more apparent.
Yeah. And so like
I mean, they are. They are. I'm not lying.
so
Go on.
So when you're in that position of having to be clutch,
Yeah.
a good player, a clutch player, will understand how badly you want things or don't want things, and then play around that.
Ooh, yeah.
Right.
Now you're talking about
So
yes.
you're, not only are you composed, but you're making decisions on some like 99% probability because you're willing to gamble on what they really, really want versus
God.
what they don't.
Also, something that kind of aids the whole clutch
This is a
thing.
masterclass from Hbox right now, by the way, but go on.
I feel, are these up smashes from Fiction anti-clutch?
That
Like he's
last
just
15
throwing them out?
seconds,
I
Hbox
think
just played him like a fiddle.
That is.
See, that's what Hugo's talking about, though, right? Like, in other words, Hungrybox is he's dealt with his own anxiety or whatever, but now he's also playing into Fiction's sense of wanting to win.
Like, what does Fiction want more than anything when Hungrybox is at 111%?
Wants to
and
kill.
he's down 2 stocks.
Wants to
Up
kill.
smash.
More than anything, he wants to
Smash.
kill. Yeah.
Up
You
air.
can start making decisions that play around that.
Yeah, I
Well,
think
now the problem
a big
comes
part,
when you have a player who's not going to take the bait, right? That's when you're both playing clutch, and now you push each other to the new question of like, okay, well, what am I going to do to win? And now you don't have an answer, and how do you sit with not having an answer?
Enter Hungrybox.
That was a confirm. Yeah, I think a big part of it is just not having to, not feeling like you have anything to prove. Is really,
really
and
good.
I don't really ever see Hbox play like that.
Right.
So, yeah, like I mean, and again, I think there's an element of character.
Fiction bringing it back. Fiction definitely slowed it down.
Yeah,
I mean,
he slowed it down.
I feel that when it comes to the raw materials here, Fiction's got them, right? He can make this happen.
No, he can totally make this happen.
This has been a game of, the mindset and the mentality has been, I think, front and center.
I think so. Leffen talks about this a lot and how character choice kind of impacts this too. Hbox can't really run in and do something silly, right? Like his character kind of forbids him from doing that. What's Puff gonna do that's that silly, right?
Right.
So I think it's easier to stay locked in a sense, and then that compounds to the fact that he's now, because he's so good, because he's so clutch, he's getting so far in terms that he has way more experience out of everyone else.
In other words, you get much less. In other words, okay, so maybe every player has the want to go in and be silly, but Jigglypuff's not going to get rewarded for that very often. Whereas
No.
Fox will get rewarded for it a fair bit.
Yeah,
Friendlies,
yeah.
right?
So you get the
Just
wrong,
run
you
it,
build the wrong
up
feedback
smash.
loops.
Yeah.
There's another
Feedback loops that work at a lower level, but not at a higher one.
That's right.
There's another thing that comes into play a lot too. Confidence. People don't talk about this
Confidence.
that much. When you have confidence, like Melee is a very analog game the way I see it. Like you can do a lot. There's no real way to play it.
Yeah.
And sometimes with confidence, you just make plays happen.
Oh, good.
You make
rapid
things
Good rapid jab.
Rapid jabs
Oh.
into jab into up smash into taunt.
That was confidence
Fiction
right there.
trying to lock himself
Yep.
in. Yeah, that was a
I've seen
unique
your
thing to do.
Confidence.com.
What character did you jab like 20 times in a row? Oh, it was Hungrybox.
Yeah, it was-
You didn't, that was confidence.
I have
jabbed him like
confidence
9 times.
for the gentleman.
Fiction's
Of
playing.
I like how you
Fiction's
said that.
saying he's down to play. Right now, what he's saying with his body language is like, I'm down to play this slow style.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Oh, is that it?
Can't be too
no,
slow, though.
Not yet.
I like how Fiction slowed it down.
Yeah, I do too.
I don't think right now is a good time to be that slow though. Like he has to make a play happen. You know what I mean?
Eventually.
Are you sure?
No, I think he's okay.
I feel like he doesn't
Right.
have to make a. Does he? Why does he have to? None. Why does he have to make a play happen?
Because he's down.
Yeah, but it's the last stock. I mean,
Oh, that was bad.
There's just
bad angle. He
none
missed his
Falcon
angle.
talking. He just wants to.
he died from that.
I think he missed his angle. I think he probably wanted the
He
ledge.
definitely missed his angle, but couldn't he have DI'd and lived like that forward smash?
He should have DI'd over to Nez's table over in that room
DI'd over to Nez's table. Yeah.
and asked him
Get
to
a
tighten
new
up his
notch.
Firefox notches. That's what he should have done.
Yeah. Wow.
I'm just being real with you. No, Puff's F smash is really strong. I don't like how strong it is. I don't like that Kirby goes. Have you seen Kirby's first smash? He goes, puts his whole face.
Life.
His whole
Kirby
energy
gets
into it.
whole
mad,
life into
and
that
you
F
go
smash.
nowhere. And then Puff goes like, meh, and you
You're
just
gone.
die at like
What about dash
40
attack?
if you DI away.
disappear
I
off the
don't
screen.
get it.
What's up, Fiction?
I was comparing.
Yeah.
This is
I
the
think-
first
yeah.
time I've ever
Can you
played
talk like
Hungrybox
directly
where I
at
actually-
Fiction?
What?
Into the
Into the
mic.
mic.
In the mic.
Okay, this is the first time I've ever played Hungrybox where I felt like I got outplayed. Because in the past, I haven't actually had enough of a game plan, so I just get hit by random stuff, and there's no chance to be outplayed. But I've been working on the matchup a lot the last couple nights with Sammy, and I'm at a point where like literally every single time I got hit that entire game was like a legit mistake. Finally,
it
That's
I'm,
awesome.
I'm so happy to
Yeah.
have that. So like,
You felt you were playing the same game and you understood like
this is by far like by a huge factor the closest I've ever gotten to him ever by like so much. Like I took a game last
They
time.
all look
doesn't
winnable.
matter. This is by far the closest I've ever gotten, and like I have a ton of notes that like other players have given me that I straight up haven't even like looked at yet, or like there's still so much more I could be doing. So like I'm just extremely happy with my progress, and
You
it
understood.
was overall a good set despite some there's still parts of my subconscious that do dumb panic options, but I weeded out like about 70% of them, so like that. But I'm still happy. I'm still happy that like I feel like a huge improvement from it. So GG's.
Nice.
Good.
Yeah. Nice.
You love to see it.
Yeah.
Hbox, were you playing friendlies with
in-loss.
Fiction? I heard that you were playing
Yeah,
friendlies with
I
him.
played friendlies with them for about an hour yesterday.
Dude, that's dope.
What inspired you to play friendlies with Fiction?
I had to play Mango soon.
Solid. Solid.
That is a good answer.
Good answer.
That is a
That's
10
the
out of
best
10
answer.
answer.
That's really good.
So, you know,
Yeah.
I think that you're super good at making people do those panic options.
yeah, I try to like play really jittery and kind of just like you can with Puff like just move a little slightly and they just get freaked out. Like,
Yeah.
when
Yeah.
Puff's gonna
Yeah.
go next.
Yeah.
But he was doing the same thing to me with Fox. That's why Fiction got so much better that matchup. We had like 2 really close games on Pokemon Stadium, and what he does really, really incredibly is he's so hard to poke. And my pokes are like half my play style. Like I just want to get in, see where your shield's a little small, see where you might not be looking. You know, just fix your errors pretty much. But he's really good at cleaning that up, and he definitely. I
What
can
was
tell
that
he
phrase
got,
you said? Fix your errors or fix your errors?
basically, like it's me telling the Fox player to fix your errors.
Fix your errors.
It's like
You're like poking at
like
the
a vibe check,
vulnerabilities.
right? Just
yeah,
like
yeah,
you know,
yeah.
are you making sure you're doing this? But
Vibe checks.
Yeah, I can tell Fiction got notes definitely from Drug Fox and probably Armada. Definitely Drug Fox. I'm not sure about Armada, but the way they're playing was really good. So yeah, I'm
How